Hi, I'm Scott Avery. I'm the Policy and Research Director at the First Peoples Disability Network. My country's Warramai and I'm also profoundly deaf, so I'll be talking a lot about what it means to be an Aboriginal person with disability. The First Peoples Disability Network, we're a non-government organisation and we were established by and for Aboriginal people with disability. So Aboriginal people with disability are often the most marginalised people in our country. If you like, they're marginalised people within a marginalised group, and they often experience discrimination and disadvantage in layers. So one layer being an Aboriginal person, another as a person with disability. And what we see is that when those things interact, the life trajectory for those people is a life of exclusion. And we think that that's why we're here at today's Suicide Prevention Conference and speaking, just to sort of highlight the issues that affect minority groups within minority groups and how they can be isolated from society. But we also want to talk about how we capture the narratives of the lived experience of these people with disability. So there's wisdom that these people have in having gone through what they do. And we want to capture that and we want to bring that to the forefront of how we can change society for the better through better research which highlights the plight of Aboriginal people with disability, and also engaging with governments and people who run institutions on our terms. So that's what we're here today. Disability is largely invisible. It's not just in suicide prevention, but in many social policy areas. So we want to start a discussion today with people to make people more aware about when you have multiple layers of inequity, what kind of life you lead, but also the positive outcomes that can happen if we have strong people sharing their stories.
What would be one of the key messages that you would like policymakers to consider out of this conference?
Look, I think one of the things, this is what I've learned over the last 2 days, is these issues are very complicated. It has very short-term crisis elements, but it has long-term empowerment. And I'm thinking that governments aren't well organised in a way to respond to this. So what I would like to come out of this conference is that we need to kind of get together and organise and come up with a very prescriptive plan, and then come up with a way that we can actually engage with government to make sure that this plan actually gets implemented.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Scott.